Good morning. I should say good afternoon. I'm so happy to say good morning. Hi, Betsy.
Hi, good to see you.
Hi, Linda. Hi, Anna. And hi, Janice. Welcome. Nice to see everybody. I'm just going to grab my other glasses. 1 second. All right, so we're hoping for good, successful internet connection today. I'm going to work on keeping my calm. Someone's calling in. That's good. All right.
All right, I gotta go. I'll call you back.
Gotta go. It's yoga time. All right. So I feel like oh, hi, Maddie. How are you, honey? So nice to see you. So can everyone hear me? Oh, Susan, somebody named Susan arrived. So Susan, I see your name, but I can't see your face. And I see Janice. It looks like she's trying to get connected to audio. So I'm going to kind of give everyone like at least a minute or so to hopefully get themselves established. Those of you who have a good, crisp, clear connection, thank God for that. Mm-hmm. I feel like the entire universe is, weighing into technology and internet energy that we have to share. So it gets a little bit sparingly, All right, so I know Susan and Janice, you're on mute, so I don't know if you are choosing to be on mute and on no video, but you're welcome to up there right now. I see there. You're choosing to have no video, that's fine. But I'd love to see you if you want to be seen.
Hello.
Hi, Janice. Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good, nice to see you. Okay, I think enough of us are here and settled and established and have a connection. So we'll get started because time is always of the essence. And thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. Happy Friday, Shabbat Shalom, right? So those of you who don't know Rabbi Amy, I think maybe you all do. She's over there. She's up in my upper left corner. I don't know where she is on your screen, but you're like the Amy squared team. So she's my right-hand woman in this beautiful connection of Torah and yoga. So I'm so grateful to have you here. And she's going to talk in a minute or so. So I'm going to be discussing today the theme, and the connection is going to be about impermanence. So some of you may actually, I know quite a you probably follow me on Facebook, and I've been writing some things about that this week. So we're going to be talking about impermanence. And when I first brought up the topic, my daughter said to me, well, what exactly does that mean? What's impermanence? I said, well, im is like a prefix for not. It's like not permanent, right? So it's really the same as ever so changing, right? So life is really guaranteed that changes will be the only constant. I think that the change is the constant that we count on. It's always there. It's always happening. Whether it's, right, whether you're looking at, the weather, whether you're looking at your moods, and that's a big deal that we're going to talk about today, because for me, this idea of if I feel angry or frustrated or annoyed or scared, right, then I know that feeling's not going to last forever. Right. So this week's Torah portion, which Amy's going to talk about in a minute, is the beginning of the book of Numbers. And they, this is the time when the Israelites are wandering through the desert, right? Wandering through the wilderness, excuse me. I think it's called wilderness, right? And so there's this incredible connection to impermanence there. And I'm going to let Rabbi Amy talk about that a little bit, and then I'm going to come back to talking about it further in connection to yoga.
Thank you so much. It's always great to work with you and to be here. So talking about when, Amy said, I think I'm going to talk about impermanence. So where is that in Judaism? And I sat and I thought, I was like, okay, I know it's here. I just need to figure out exactly what would be the best example. So the first example that came to mind was the idea of Sukkot, right? We have this festival of Sukkot where we build huts, and there really is a very deep sense of impermanence. That's actually one of the messages of the holiday, is that we are not in control of our lives. There is something bigger, a bigger picture, and the way that we actually actualize that is to build these huts and to say, okay, it's almost like I'm turning it over. I'm hoping it's not going to rain, even though it probably will, especially in Florida because it's hurricane season. But I'm really stepping out and making my offering to realize that I am not in control and change is always happening. And as Amy mentioned, there's the weather. The other piece which was so telling is I said, well, you know, how about if I go to the Torah portion? That's always a great place to go. And what do you know? We are just starting the book of Numbers, wandering in the wilderness, and the Israelites have 42 stops that they make in the desert, in the wilderness. And so this idea of impermanence, of putting down a camp and then taking down a camp and then moving and then putting up a camp and taking down a camp and then moving, really seemed to fit this theme of the week perfectly. And there was one interesting noticing that in the midst of all of the encampments that went up and down, there was the Mishkan, the tabernacle, and in the tabernacle there was the ark. Both of those representative of God. And so perhaps if we can think of our centering, our grounding in the middle of all of the encampments and the wanderings, that might help bring some stability and some sense of calm. If we can focus on what is in the center, what is in our center, what anchors us, what grounds us. Perhaps you have a place in your home that is your go-to anchor spot. If not, I would invite you to consider creating one, even if it's your yoga mat or a meditation cushion, or some people I know actually go in their closets, believe it or not, if they just want to sort of get away from what's happening in their house, but a space that really anchors you. And so I'm going to turn it back to Amy, and she will give a little bit more explanation about the yogic understanding of impermanence and how we can anchor ourselves in these challenging times.
Sure, thank you. And hello, Amy. Now we've got an Amy trio here. Hi, Amy. So I'm gonna talk about it, throughout our practice today. But I just jotted this down as a little opening to share, right? The simple awareness that nothing lasts forever and that change is a constant truly is the work. The highs don't last forever and the lows don't last forever. This knowledge helps us to live life more fully, to appreciate the moments of joy and happiness, to understand that the challenging times won't last, but are a certain part of our human existence. Okay, so I'm going to ask you. I'm going to actually see if anyone has any questions before I mute everybody, and then I'll do that just so that we have no outside distractions. So if you have any questions, we can, hopefully I'll get done in time enough for us to talk a bit afterwards. All right, so I'm going to click the mute. Oh, actually, I don't think I have those. Okay, actually, Amanda, if you can hear me, can you mute everybody? Because I don't think I was not made the host. So if Amanda, you can mute everybody, that'd be great. So, all right, so start out in seated Sukhasana position. So I'm going to go back to my mat, and I am going to ask you to come into a seated cross-legged position, Sukhasana. And close your eyes if you're comfortable with closed eyes. And I'm actually going to share, I'm going to offer up our practice today to begin with a prayer, right? As Jews, we pray. Sometimes we pray in a way that is consistent or a constant or something that's familiar, something that we do over and over again. And sometimes we're asked to go into silent prayer. and really, conjure up or think about what it is that we are seeking for, or what are we looking to do or change in our lives, or what kind of a connection are we looking for. So I'd like to offer up this group prayer to begin our practice. So close your eyes, find your center, like Rabbi Amy was talking about the Mishkan, the tabernacle, right? Which it was the center of this essentially, tribe of nomads that went from place to place to place, and they're constant. The thing that never changed for them was what they had in the center, their connection to God, their connection to Torah. So the prayer I offer up for us. As we begin today, let us be aware that this moment, the one we are in right now, is impermanent and sacred. Allow us to see the beauty in each breath, each twist, each moment of presence. May we feel our physical bodies fully, being mindful during each pose and transition. May we use this practice as a template for our lives, that we may more gracefully navigate the moments and transitions of our days. May we know that strong feelings always pass, that both good and bad times are fleeting. May we breathe through discomfort and rejoice in our very existence today, knowing that to move and to breathe in a physical body is a great gift. May we slow down and not miss our poses. May we not miss our own precious lives. With a sense of reverence for the very impermanence that defines this human existence, we begin our practice today. Bring your hands, please, to your heart center. And I'm going to offer up a dear thanks to my friend, Ilanka Michelle, who wrote that prayer of impermanence for me. She's an author and a yoga teacher and a dear friend. So my thanks goes to Ilanka Michelle for sharing that with me and for allowing me to share that with you. So we're going to begin moving and breathing with an inhale. Reach your arms up toward the ceiling. And really simple, just lower your left hand down and take a little stretch over to the left. And just seeing what's in there, right? Observing the changes. Right? We know changes come every day, right? Weather and sunlight and sunrise and sunset. Yeah. And then with your next inhalation, rise back up. And lowering in the opposite side, so leaning over to the right, stretching out the left side of your body. Right, beautiful. And then next inhale, come back up to center, bring your hands to the heart, and a real simple twist. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, twist to the left. All right. Can you enjoy the moment, right? As this moment is fleeting, and hopefully it feels like a good shape for your body, a comfortable position to be in, but it doesn't last, good or bad. Inhale, arms reach up as we switch and rotate into the next moment, into the next pose. Good. One more breath here. And then slowly come back up to center, inhale, and hands to the heart, exhale. Good, bring your hands back behind you, uncross the legs, and I'd like you please to lay down. I'm gonna come to my side, but you don't have to switch that way. I'm just gonna think that it'll be a little easier for you to see. When you lay down on your back, I'd like you to bend your left leg and let that left knee open out wide, and bring your arms out like wings, right? So this is a tree pose on your back, right? A tree pose on your back. So we're gonna stay here for a few moments, right? Although the moments are fleeting, right? Stay here for a few moments. I want you to feel your body breathing. Yeah. Feel the sensations that arise. And then perhaps you change the position of your arms. So this is a reclined tree pose. So imagine your arms being the branches of the tree. And maybe you want to have a bent elbow, or maybe one arm is a little higher than the other, because right, naturally trees are just built that way. Can you soften the fingers? So the fingers become like the leaves on the tree. And so the ever-growing, shifting, changing path of the life of a tree, right? Starting with a seed, growing to a sprout, a plant, right? A tree with bark and big leaves, and then the leaves fall, and they grow back, maybe they bud flowers, right? There's ever changing right there. So imagine yourself as a tree here for a moment. The impermanence of that. Good. And we're just gonna switch to the opposite side. Really slowly, bring your hands in toward your heart space. Lift that left knee up, extend the left leg down, and really simple change. Bend the right, open it out so you can get that right foot to come to the inside of the left leg. And then find the branches of your tree again. Maybe they're different this time. Maybe they hang down like a willow tree. Maybe they come up really tall and broad like a palm tree, right? You decide, and just see if you can tap into the essence of what it would feel like to be a tree. Right? Just take a couple more breaths. Right? This practice is about being present, feeling what you feel, even if the feeling is a little uncomfortable. Right? Good. One more nice breath in. And then slowly bring the arms down again. Bring that right knee up. Extend the leg down to meet the left. All right, we're going to begin here with a stretch. Reach your arms up and over the head. Point your toes and elongate the body. Really stretch, right? Good. Feel the beauty of the moment. Feel what you feel in your body. If it's too much or too intense at any time, you are able to make that change for yourself, right? There's little we can control, but we can choose the postures, the positions, and the shapes that work for our bodies. As you take your next exhale, hug that right knee into the chest. Hug the right knee into the chest. Good. All right, now we're going to take that right hand on the right knee, open it out a little bit wider, bring the left arm out to the left. Right, so just making it a little bit different than the tree pose because the foot's not down on the ground. Take another inhale. As you exhale, we're going to switch hands. Left hand holds right knee. Come into a twist. Bring the right knee across the midline of the body and open the right arm out to the right and look to the right. Good. And then inhale, come back to center with that leg, arms down by your side. Point the leg up to the ceiling. Good, bend that knee and extend that right leg down. Just pause for a moment and see if you can notice a difference between the sides of your legs. And we'll take the same action on the other side. Inhale, arms reach up, take a nice stretch, point the toes. And exhale, hug the left knee into the chest. Good. Left hand on left knee, open it out to the left as the right arm opens out to the right. And then taking the opposite hands, right hand holds left knee, cross the midline of the body. Take a little twist, open the left arm out to the left and look to the left. Good. Inhale, come back through the center, arms down by your side, leg up to the ceiling. Bend the knee and extend it down again. Good. Reach the arms up and over the head. We're going to take the same action again on both sides. Moving with breath, a little bit more of like a flow action. Big breath in. Exhale, knee into chest. Open knee and arm out wide. And exhale, cross, midline of the body, switching arms. Good. Inhale back to center, arms down by your side, leg to the ceiling. Bend the knee, straighten it down. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, left knee hugs in. Good. Open that left knee out wide, right arm out wide. Good. Cross the midline of the body, switch arms, open out, look to the left. Good. Inhale back to center, arms down by your side, straighten leg up to the ceiling. Lower that left leg down. So good. Inhale, both arms reach up. This time as you exhale, hug both knees into your chest and rock and roll side to side. Just roll on the lower back, see how it feels. Maybe circled with the hips, right? Maybe even letting those knees go really wide here. Maybe have a little more space now from the tree poses and those open hips. And then eventually you're going to make your way up to a seated position so you can roll your way there. And from seated, we're going to shift into a tabletop. So coming onto hands and knees, yeah. So just get yourself situated here. Beautiful. And then we're just going to take a couple of rounds of cat and cow. Traditional cat and cow, wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, pulling up from the pit of the belly, right? We've changed our perception, our perspective, our shape of our bodies. Every moment, something new. Tuck the toes under, let the belly soften down, let the head and chest lift up. Maybe you rock forward a little bit here. Good, and as you exhale, untuck the toes, round and hunch, bring the chin to the chest. Good. Pushing the middle back up toward the ceiling, so you're rounding like a kitty cat. Good. Let's take one more. Inhale, tuck the toes, lift the tailbone, lift the head, lift the chest. And exhale, round and hunch. This time, draw the hips all the way back to the heels. Come into a child's pose. So head comes down and arms are extended, right? So make sure that here the arms are really reaching far forward. You're lengthening away, right? So there's this nice stretch from the tailbone to the crown of the head, from the tips of the fingers to the heels of the feet. Good. All right. Now keep those arms extended. Yeah, and then with an inhale, lift the hips up and take your right leg and extend your right leg out to the right. Yeah, all right, and so you can just kind of rock a little forward and back here, getting a little deeper into the inseam of that right leg. Good. And then walk your hands back a little bit so they're underneath the shoulders again, so you feel really stable. Find some strength in your core and your pelvic floor, right? And then see if you can lift that right foot up off of the mat, maybe just an inch or two. Woo, yeah, right? So we're engaging in the medial glutes. And there, for a lot of us, this is like, woo, pretty intense right there. So lower it down if you can, but just know this moment too is fleeting. One more breath. Lower it down. Good. Bring that knee back to underneath the hips. Bring the hips to the heels. Take child's pose again for one really good breath. Full inhale. Full exhale. Good. Lift the hips again. And then extending that left leg out to the left. And just take a nice little moment to stretch. Right? I like to rock back and forth, getting into the inseam of the leg a little deeper, right? Every pose we do prepares us for future poses to come. Yeah, and really helps us to have a greater understanding to the message, right? So come back to neutral, strong pelvic floor, strong core. When you're ready, see if you can lift that left foot up off the mat, just an inch or two. Flex it, right? The stronger you make the muscles holding onto that leg, the more stable you will feel. Yeah. Fleeting moment. Thank you, God. One more breath. Lower that foot down, lower the knee back down, child's pose. So good. Breathe. All right, now keep those arms extended as far forward as you can. Yeah. Lift the hips away from the heels, right? Tuck toes under, lift head, lift chest. And then we're gonna come into a plank pose just for a moment. If plank pose feels like it's too much for you, I'm gonna go sideways so you can see really well, right? I'm just gonna lift up my knees, right? And if you need to keep the knees down, by all means, keep the knees down. Take one more breath here. And as you exhale, press back, downward facing dog. All right. So our first down dog, I'm not going to stay here for too long, but I do want you to have a moment to really feel it, right? The message here is to be in the moment, right? So feel your legs active, heels reaching, legs pressing back behind you, palms grounded, right? Pushing away. Right, like you're trying to rip off the front edge of your mat. Strong in the belly, strong in the core. Take one more really nice breath here. Good, and then look forward. Lower the knees down. Lift the chin and chest. Untuck the toes. Child's pose. Good, so we're gonna just do a little flow action. 3 cycles, just like that. Simple flow movement with breath. On an inhale, lift the head, lift the chest, lift the chin, tuck the toes, and then lift the knees, plank pose, right? Your exhalation will press you back to a downward facing dog. Good, your inhale brings you forward again, lower the knees down, lift the head, lift the tailbone, untuck the toes, round the spine, bring yourself back to child's pose. Good. Sweet moment, feel it. Inhale, lift the hips, tuck the toes, lift the head, lift the chest, lift the tailbone, lift the knees, plank pose. Exhale, lift the hips, press back, downward facing dog. Good, look forward. Release the knees down, lift head, lift tailbone, and exhale, round and hunch, pull back to child's pose. Good. One more round. Inhale, lifting up, tuck toes, lift tailbone, exhale, plank. Good. Inhale here, exhale, down dog. Good. Inhale forward, release knees, cow pose. Exhale, untuck toes, round kitty cat, all the way to child's pose. Really, really good. All right, one more breath. And then we're slowly gonna make our way to a forward fold. So you can slowly walk your feet to the front of the mat. And once you get there, keep enough width in between your feet, right? So I've got mine even wider than hips distance, right? The 2-fist measurement is the hips distance measurement. And keep a little soft bend in the knees, right? First forward fold, this practice, maybe not of your day, right? And so just be here and breathe, right? Notice what you feel. Notice what comes up, yeah? Good. Maybe you need to bend the knees more. Maybe you want to let the arms dangle. Maybe you want to hold opposite elbows, right? Maybe you want to actually move and sway a little bit. Take what feels good. Nice. And then releasing those elbows, softening the knees. Sweep the arms out and rise on up, arms up to the ceiling. Good, and hands to the heart center. Beautiful. Just take a moment to pause here. Maybe even finding that center, like that mishkan, right, within you. What is it? Like Rabbi Amy said earlier, I love the way she posed it. Like, what is your anchor? What is your anchor? What is that thing that you can keep that doesn't change? You know, our relationship to God doesn't change, right? That trust, maybe it's something different for you, right? What is it for you that doesn't change? Good. So we surrender to what we cannot control and be aware of what we can control, taking steps to change our thoughts, our minds, and our emotions as needed. Good. Now bring your hands to your hips, and then we're going to step that left foot back. Step your left foot back. All right, so we're coming into a warrior one for starters, right? So the right foot, right toes are pointing forward, left foot is grounded, left leg, left foot is slightly turned out to the left. Take a nice bend in that right knee, and then reach the arms up. Good. Notice how this moment feels. Warrior is a very empowering pose, right? It gives us confidence and strength. It reminds us of who we are and what we are capable of. Remember that opening prayer, right? And we are in such gratitude for being able to move and breathe this way in these physical bodies. Yeah. And then bring your arms out like wings. And then we're going to just pivot into a warrior two. So the right arm is going to come forward. Left arm is going to come back. You might need to adjust the feet slightly, right? And sink down a little bit deeper. And so you want to have that right knee. It doesn't have to be at a 90-degree angle, but you want to try to make sure that the right knee doesn't go past the ankle or the toes. Yeah, good. Maybe sink down a little deeper. Can you gaze over the right middle finger? Yeah, where can you soften here, right, in this challenge? Right, if you feel tight in the shoulders, if you're feeling it in your hips, where can you breathe? Right, it's like that moment when my Wi-Fi went out 2 minutes before class was starting, and I was like, oh my, right? That's a moment of frustration. Like, how do I know? How do I get through that moment? I know it's not lasting forever. I already feel so much better. Yeah. Turn that right palm up. Take a nice big inhale. And then reaching that right arm up to the ceiling and that left arm down the left leg. So you're reversing the warrior. There's that side body again. Breath in and breath out. And beautiful fleeting moment. Let it come back to warrior two, bending that right elbow, placing that right elbow on that left thigh, left arm reaches up, right? Take your time adjusting yourself, and then maybe even bicep muscle by ear, and getting that really incredible elongation on the whole left side of your body. Yeah, be in the moment, right? What do you notice? What can you feel? Are you collapsing your body weight into that right thigh, right? Can you push down and away? Can you pull up from the pelvic floor and the belly? Stay grounded in your feet. Feel your own strength. Yeah. And then with an inhale, rise back up. Warrior two. Straighten that right leg. Take a big inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Now, some of you might want to heel toe that left foot in a click or so to make your stance a little shorter. We're going to come into triangle pose. So left hip kind of gets a little sassy, right? So you put the left hip out just a little bit, and then arms reach in opposition, and we start to reach forward with the right arm until we feel that nice inseam of the leg again, right? The inseam of that right leg, and then we lower that right hand down. Left arm reaches up. Maybe it comes up and over, right? So try not to let that left shoulder curl forward, right? So I see sometimes a lot of this happening. Pull that left shoulder back, open up, right? And so if this is too deep for you, right, you could always be up a lot higher. You take the position that feels best for you, right? Feel the moment, because you know it's fleeting. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, hands down by your side, hands on the hips. And then turn the right toes in to be the same direction as the left. And then turn the left toes to the back of your mat and square off your hips to the back of your mat. So adjust your feet. We're coming back to that warrior one. And on an inhale, reach your arms up. Good. Can you spread the fingers wide? Feel the empowerment here of a warrior, right? Someone that is willing to learn and to know to be human is to make mistakes, right? To be human is to grow in a slow process, just like the tree, from the seed until it was a full-grown tree. Right? Give me one more breath here. Open the arms out like wings. Look to your right, and then pivot and twist to the right, coming into warrior two, and maybe adjusting those feet if you need to. Bending nice and deep into that left knee. And opening arms in opposition and breathe. Yeah, good. Feel your breath. Maybe even feel your muscles getting a little twitchy. Feel some warmth coming on your skin. Feel the beat of your heart. Turn the left palm up. Take a nice inhale. Reaching that left arm up to the ceiling and right arm down the right leg. We're reversing the warrior. Breath in and breath out. Nice. Sweet and slowly coming back to warrior two. Here comes side angle pose. So bend that left arm, place it on the left thigh. Right arm reaching up. And then maybe even reaching the right arm up and over the ear. Let's see if you have the availability to go deeper, right? Witnessing what's happening to the body in the moment. Maybe it's getting more supple, right? Maybe it's feeling a little bit shaky or weaker, right? Just observe without judgment. Good. All right. Inhale, come back up to warrior two. Straighten that left leg. Oh, thank you, God. Moment. Take a breath in. Open the mouth. Right hand to right hip. Maybe that right foot clicks in one click or so. Yeah, shortening the stance just a little bit. Arms reach out again. And that right hip kind of gets a little sassy. Comes out to the right a little bit. And we start to reach the left arm forward, forward, forward until you come into your triangle pose. Right, so you're going to take it to the point where you feel the inseam of that leg again. Right, on that left leg, really opening up and getting to the point where you go, okay, I know that's just enough for me. I'm in control of that, yeah? Right, it's nice to be in control of that. Maybe bicep comes over the ear. Again, we draw that right shoulder back and we notice what's happening physically, emotionally, in the body, yeah, in the mind. Beautiful. One more breath in. And then rise back up. Woo, hands to the hips. Turn those left toes. And then heel toe, heel toe, heel toe until those feet are together to touch. Yeah. And then we're going to walk our way to the front of the mat. Good. All right. Bring your hands, please, to your heart center. I'm going to back up a little bit just so that you guys can see me well. All right. Now, we're going to practice a little balance here. So just like we started earlier with the tree pose on our back, we're going to take a tree pose standing. Right? So put a little more weight into your right foot. Lift your left heel up. And see, maybe you can lift even that left leg up and hug it into the chest, kind of like you did when you were laying on your back, right? And then let that left knee open out to the left and then place it on the calf, right? So try to see if it's not available on the calf, you can always lower, I'm showing here how you can slide your foot down so your toes actually touch the mat, right? Some of you might have a lot of depth and you might be able to bring the sole of the foot to the inside of the groin, inside of the thigh there, right? But it's not necessary. Just don't put it on the knee joint, okay? The knee is very delicate, so it should be below or above the knee. And then grow the branches of your tree. Right, so choose an arm position that feels best for you. But here's my favorite cue in tree pose. I want you to think about what's happening in your tushy on the right side. So give a little squeeze of that right glute, right? As that left sole of the foot presses into the left calf. Watch how it stabilizes you. Witness the change. Breathe. Good. And then slowly drawing the hands to the heart. Bring that left knee back to center. And then maybe seeing if you can float it back behind you, practicing a little bit more balance. This is a warrior 3. If you're close to a wall behind you like I am, you can use that wall to balance on. Yeah. Good. Best that you can right here. One more breath. And then bringing that left foot to meet the right. Good. Woo, yeah, shake out that standing leg. It worked for sure. Let's breathe and move. Clear the energy. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Let the head hang. Breathe. Beautiful. Ground down through the feet. Sweep the arms out. Breathe in as you rise up. And draw the hands right back to the heart. All right, so we're going to take that same action on the opposite side. So maybe you keep hands at heart, or maybe you keep hands on hips. Get heavy in your left foot. And then we're going to lift the right heel and just open that right knee, maybe a little bit. Lift it up and see if you can hug it in. Right? Did this on your back. Lots of balance here. Open the knee wider, right? And plug it in so that foot comes to the calf or the ankle. Oh yeah, right? And then we're gonna find that tushy again, or that medial glutes, the glutes on the left side of your body. Give them a squeeze, right? Notice they kind of like to flop out to the side. So give it a squeeze in. And when the hip and the glute is squeezing in, let the foot press in toward the calf. And then maybe hands to heart center. Or what kind of a tree do you want to be? A willow, right? An oak, a palm tree, right? Maybe you're blowing in the wind like I am, wavering a little bit. Where's your center? Where's your anchor? Can it be in the trust in God, and the trust in the process? Yeah, good. Slowly bringing the hands to the heart. Challenge here, drawing that knee back to center and sliding it back behind you, looking for a little balance in warrior 3. Hands staying at the heart center. Left foot is grounded. Right leg is stretching, reaching, and active back behind you. I've got the gift of that wall right behind me. Thank you, God, for that. One more breath. And then slowly, slowly coming back to center, lowering down that leg and shaking out the standing one. Woo, give it some circulation. Yeah, good. A little mini flow, breath in, arms sweep out and up. Exhale, forward fold, soften the knees as much as you need to. Just hang here for a moment. Feel what you feel. Space in the spine, soften the knees, shoulders soft, relax and breathe. Good. And then slowly walking your hands forward, lowering your knees down to the mat, and come back to a child's pose. Maybe you take a different child's pose than you did the first time. If your knees were wider and that feels comfortable, you can stay there. Maybe you try bringing your knees closer. Changes the child's pose. Yeah, good. Just breathe here. Use this as a means of transition, a means of grounding, another moment to find your center. Good. And then as you feel ready, We're going to shift our way onto our backs again. So walk your hands toward the knees, hips off to one side. And sweep your legs around to the front. Lower yourself on your back. This time, stay in conscious resting pose. All right, conscious resting pose means that the knees are bent and the feet are flat on the floor. The heels are underneath the knees. All right, if you bring your hands down, you might be able to just kind of brush the back of the heel there with your fingertips. Good. And now remember those gluteal muscles, those tushy muscles, right? The ones that we used in our tree pose. So see if you can just activate them here and just tilt the pelvis a little. So it's just a little squeeze of those medial glutes, and you tilt the pelvis so the lower back is kind of pressing down into the mat, and the tailbone just lifts up a little bit, right? That might be enough for you here. If you want to come into a full bridge pose, you can push into the feet, lift the hips up, right? Keep those glutes strong and active. And then maybe bending the elbows and pushing down into the elbows and the forearms, the upper arms, right? Walking the shoulder blades in and just feel this reset button that bridge pose offers us. Right? Feel your own strength. Be in the moment. Maybe one more really good breath in. Maybe the knees are splaying out. Draw them in a little closer. And as you exhale, lower the hands, lower the upper back, the middle back, and the lower back. Good. Now lift the feet up, draw the knees into the chest. Right, take the spine in the opposite direction. If you felt like it, you can lift your head up, maybe chin to chest. Yeah. Lower the head back down. And make the knees out wide once again, so you can stay right here, or you can find happy baby pose, right? So the soles of the feet go up toward the ceiling, and then we stretch the arms, and we try to find the outer edges of the feet. If that's not available, hold on to your shins or your ankles, right? You could even take the hands to the inside of the arches of the feet. Some people find that to be more comfortable. Lengthen your tailbone, lengthen the back of your neck so the chin draws down to the chest. And then maybe here, you want to be a little playful. Yeah. A little playful rocking side to side. So good. And then releasing the hands from the feet, drawing those feet toward the floor. And make your feet as wide as your mat. So you can use your soles of your feet to feel the edges, to know that your feet are nice and wide. Good, and bring your hands to your belly. Just let the knees now relax in toward each other. So they kind of gently knock toward each other. Good. Bring your attention to your heart. Right, energetically, anahata, the heart center, means unstruck, unchangeable, or impermanent. And I'm not talking about the organ of your heart that could change. I'm talking about the energy center, the soul, the true self that is you. Slide those hands up to the heart space. Keep the feet wide, let the knees open again, and let both of the knees relax over to the left. Keep the left hand on the heart. Take the right arm and reach it up, and then place it down on the floor wherever it lands comfortably. Maybe the bicep muscle is by the ear. We get a nice stretch here. All right, so one more option if you wanted to go deeper. You could take that left foot and bring it on top of the right thigh, right, above the knee. So it takes a really nice stretch across the IT band and the hip, and the right ribs. You might feel it in the right armpit, all the way up that whole right side body. If that's too much, you can always leave the left foot on the ground. Good. And then if the foot is up there, release it first. Make sure it's still just as wide as before. Bring the right hand back to the belly. Inhale, Knees and hips go back to center, and exhale, gently relax them in the other direction. So knees go right. Now right hand finds that heart space. Left arm reaches up and away, relaxing it down on the floor. Good. If you want to deepen here, you can always bring that right foot on top of that left thigh, just above the knee. Much bigger stretch. Be in the moment. We know it's fleeting. And one more really nice breath in. If you have that foot stacked, remove it first. And then with an inhale, bringing that left hand back to the body, knees back to center, and let the knees relax in toward each other one more time. Good. See if you can notice a change in how you feel right here. What you have cultivated for yourself in this beautiful practice. What you have learned. Take it all in. Separate the knees, keep the feet wide, and slide the feet down the mat. You can support something underneath the knees if the lower back feels tight. You could even keep the knees bent for Shavasana. Let the hands come away from the body. Palms face upward and fingers curl again. Just like those little twinkling leaves on the tree. Let your fingers just be soft here. Right, palms soft here. Good. And so we breathe. Changes like trees, sunrise, sunset, clouds floating by, the weather, the breeze, budding flowers, amounts of energy, big changes now. How do you embrace change? What is it for you that doesn't change? Can you take this moment to connect to God, to connect to Spirit, and to know that you are created in the image of God? And what is an image? Like a reflection in a mirror. There's a spark of divine in you. So just about a minute or so of quiet and stillness. And perhaps even as you are in this quiet and stillness, you can notice a shift or a change in your breath. Try not to control it, but just observe it. Maybe the breath feels light and airy. Maybe it feels warm or heavy. Maybe it's smooth or choppy. Maybe it feels peaceful. Maybe it feels edgy. Just hold on to this beautiful moment as it transitions to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. When you feel ready, I'd like you to start to breathe bigger and more purposeful once again. Take control of that change. Take an inhale and a bigger exhale. Slowly wiggle those fingers like the leaves in the breeze. Wiggle the toes. Bend your knees and bring your feet to the floor. And rock yourself over onto a fetal position on your side. Just notice that transition. Yeah. Good. And bringing yourself back up to a comfortable seat. I invite you to choose one that feels best for you. Bring your hands to your heart center. And while we are not nomads wandering through the wilderness, we can imagine what that was like for them, building camp, taking down camp, moving, setting it back up, and doing it all over again. And each time they did, they had that source, that connection to God, that Mishkan that Rabbi Amy talked about in the very beginning, right? That tabernacle. That was the root. That was the constant. Yeah. So knowing that change is a constant helps us to ride the waves of life. Shalom. 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 Thank you so very much to each one of you for coming out today and choosing to spend these moments together with me and with each other. Thank you for honoring me and trusting me to guide you in this ancient and most magical practice that we call yoga and its beautiful connection to the ancient teachings of Torah. Wishing you a Shabbat Shalom, a beautiful, wonderful weekend. Stay well, stay healthy, and until we meet again, namaste. And Shabbat Shalom. So I'm going to take a moment to, well, I think maybe actually Amanda has to do that for me to unmute, or you guys maybe can unmute yourselves. Because I think, I did get that host. Hold on, let's see, unmute all. There we go.
Hi.
Okay, hi. Hi. So, yeah, so it is really my pleasure. This was the last in our little Torah Yoga series. So perhaps we'll do it again. And I really enjoy, for me, it's not only a joy to lead, but it's a joy to be connected and to learn. And I'm having an opportunity to learn more. So I know we'll talk again, and perhaps we'll, if enough people are interested, maybe we'll do it again. Who knows? Maybe I'm going to put it out there to the universe. Maybe we'll even try for like a once a month session or something like that. It'd be amazing. I heard somebody say something, but I couldn't hear what it was.
Once a week.
Once a week. Oh, thank you. That's a compliment. Yeah. So
That was great. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure, Betsy. Thank you. And so I'm really accessible. And if you don't have my phone number, you can get it. The temple will give it to you. Or if you want to search me out on Facebook, I think a lot of us are already connected that way. I'm accessible, so call me if you want to chat and stay connected. And I look forward to seeing you all again. If anyone has any questions, this is the perfect moment. I think maybe not time chat. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both, Amy's.
Thank you, Amy.